If you're still sending a single thank you email after someone buys from your e-commerce brand, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. In today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how to build a high converting post-purchase flow that boosts retention, drives repeat purchases, and increases profit without you having to spend a single extra dollar on ads. I'll walk you through the exact full flow outline, share real email examples, give you high performing subject lines, and break down the A/B tests you should be running to keep improving the results over time. So make sure to stick around until the end, because this flow could be the difference between a brand that thrives and scales and one that plateaus after the first sale. As for me, I'm Mike. Here you can find more info about me and my contact details if you want to get in touch. And I've also included the exact document we'll cover in the video down in the description, so feel free to grab it, use it, tweak it, it's all yours. Okay, so here's a quick look of what's inside and what we'll cover in this video. First, we're going to talk about why is it important to have a post-purchase flow, then how to structure your post-purchase flow. I'm going to give you a full 7 email flow outline, and we're going to cover content guidelines, email examples, and subject line ideas. And we're also going to talk about how to optimize your post-purchase flow and important A/B tests to run. So let's start. Okay, why is it important? Let's face it, acquiring customers is getting more expensive by the day. CPAs are rising, competition is growing, and margins are tighter than ever. That's why many brands struggle to make a profit on the first sale, and their real profit often comes from their repeat customers. This makes retention one of the most important levers for driving profitable growth. And here's the truth, your post-purchase flow is when you make or break your retention. It's your best opportunity to eliminate buyer's remorse, help customers adopt the product, and build a habit around using it so they're more likely to come back and buy again. What this means for your brand is better retention, more repeat purchases, and growth that doesn't depend on increasing ad spend. The post-purchase flow is one of the most powerful retention tools, and yet it's also the most commonly overlooked. Okay, let's now break down the flow my team and I use on a daily basis for all the brands we work with. But before we dive into the actual emails, I want to mention something really important. Our post-purchase experience is split into 2 flows, each triggered by a different event. So a common mistake I see is that most people trigger their post-purchase flow as soon as an order is placed and then build everything from there. To ensure we're sending the right message at the right time, we split the flow into 2 parts. The first part is triggered immediately after the order is placed, and this includes a thank you email and a follow-up upsell email. The second part is triggered once the order is fulfilled. So this way we avoid sending certain emails too early, especially in cases where shipping is delayed, and that way we ensure a smooth customer experience. I'm gonna go in depth on each email and show you examples in a minute, but let's first take a look at the structure. Okay, let's check the first flow, which is going to be triggered after someone places an order. Here we have 2 emails. So email 1, the first one will be sent 5 minutes after someone places an order on your website. It will be segmented based on how many purchases the customer has made, and we're going to split it between first-time buyers, second-time buyers, third-time buyers, and VIP customers. In this email, we'll send a simple thank you message, but the content will be slightly different for each group to make it feel more personal. Now, for the second email, we want to wait 1 hour and split by product or collection for upsell. And in this email, we want to promote complementary products to their recent purchase. So for example, if someone buys a pair of jeans, we might show them a t-shirt that pairs well with it. And this is another opportunity to take advantage of the post-purchase window while the customer is still engaged and encourage them to come back and buy again. Now, the second flow will be triggered after the order is marked as fulfilled. We'll wait 15 minutes, then send the first email, which is designed to build excitement by letting them know their package is on the way, while also eliminating any buyer's remorse. So 3 days later, we'll split the flow again by product or collection and send an email with clear, actionable tips on how to use the product they purchased. 5 days later, we're going to send another email pushing them into our social channels. And 1 week later, we're going to split the flow again between first-time buyers and repeat customers. For the first-time buyers, we'll offer a time-sensitive incentive to encourage them to make their second purchase as soon as possible. Then 24 hours later, we'll send a final check-in email from the founder. This message shows we care about their experience as new customers and also serves as a last reminder that their discount on a second order expires soon. As for repeat customers, since we don't want them to rely on discounts, we'll skip the incentive email and instead send a straightforward check-in from the founder asking how their experience with the product is going and offering help if needed. Okay, let's dive into each of these emails with examples and more details. So placed order thank you email. The goal of the first email is to thank the customer for their purchase, reassure them that they made the right choice and gently encourage them to order again, while keeping the message personal and thoughtful. I already mentioned it, but don't forget to split the messaging based on how many purchases the customer has already made. Adjust the tone and content slightly to make it feel more personal. For example, you can acknowledge your second time buyers by thanking them for coming back and let your third time buyers know they're almost VIP customers. In terms of content, you can thank them for the purchase, remind of brand mission and values, offer support if needed, and encourage a repeat purchase. Here's a good example. As you can see, the email is super simple and straightforward, thanking them for the purchase they just made and then offering additional products they could add to their order. Really, this is all you need. Don't overcomplicate it. And here are a couple of subject line ideas that you can use as well. Okay, let's now jump straight into the second email from this flow, which is the placed order cross-sell. So the placed order cross-sell, the goal of this email is to sell another product to the customer. They're at their most engaged right now. Since they just made a purchase, it's perfect time to encourage them to buy again. In this email, we want to promote complementary products to their recent purchase. Considering that 75% of customers don't come back to make a second purchase, you're going to want to capture as much extra margin as you can. So in terms of content, address their recent purchase, offer recommendations for more products to shop for, add a limited time incentive. This is optional. If you don't want to give a discount, it's okay. Here's a good example from Karma Loop. The email promotes a complimentary product at a low price point, uses urgency with a 60-minute timer, and includes a discount code to encourage quick action. All of this makes it very effective for driving a second purchase while customers are still excited from their recent one. So for this email, you have two options. You can choose to split the flow based on what someone purchased and offer complementary products. Or if you don't want to go that deep and do that much work, a simpler option is to showcase a few of your best-selling items instead. I'd recommend splitting the flows and offering complementary products, but it's up to you. And here are a few subject line ideas you can use for this email. With the second email, we wrap up the placed order flow. So let's now move on to the next part of the post-purchase experience, and that's the flow that's triggered once the order is fulfilled. Okay. Email 1, eliminate buyer's remorse or package on the way. The goal of this first email is to build excitement, eliminate any buyer's remorse, and reassure them that they've made the right choice while letting them know their order is on the way. In terms of content, we want to build excitement for the delivery. We should focus on eliminating any remorse your customers may have. You can do that by showing reviews highlighting success with the product, addressing FAQs, reinforcing benefits, using a comparison showing how your product is better than the competition. Here is a good example from La Repubblica. The "Boat Your Order is on the way" headline, combined with 4,000 plus positive reviews, instantly builds excitement and reinforces trust in the product. The copy highlights cognitive and physical benefits, which helps to eliminate buyer's remorse by reminding the customer of the value they're getting. They've also included a clear visual showing the transformation customers can expect, and this makes the benefits feel tangible and easy to understand. And finally, the email includes a strong 5-star review that addresses common concerns like jitters or taste, while reinforcing overall product satisfaction. And here are a few subject line ideas you can use for this email. Okay, now let's move on to the next email from this flow, which is the product adoption email. The goal of this email is to equip the customer with helpful information so they can have the best possible experience with the product. Getting them to actually use the product is one of the most effective ways to drive retention. In terms of content, we want to give them clear and actionable product tips, tell them how to use the product properly, how to be successful, and care tips. So here we have a good example from HeyBud. The email shows the customers exactly how to use the clay mask by breaking it down into clear sections with simple step-by-step instructions. Each tip is actionable and easy to follow, helping them get the most out of their product. This is extremely important for the success of your overall retention. The best retention tool is product usage, so we definitely want to help customers start using what they bought and see results. And if you're selling products that are more straightforward and don't require usage instructions, you can still provide care tips to support the experience and keep them engaged. Okay, here are a couple of subject line ideas that you can use for this email. And let's now move on to the next email from this flow, which is the social media push. The goal of this email is to encourage your customers to follow your main social media channels. We do this for a couple of reasons. First, this helps extend the engagement beyond email. It builds trust through social proof and keeps your brand top of mind. And it also creates more opportunities for future conversions by adding another touch point, because at some point, whether you like it or not, people are going to stop opening your emails. In terms of content, we need to invite them to follow our main social channel. We need to share what they'll get, so updates, content, and community. And here is a good example from Routine. The email invites their customers to follow their social channels and clearly explains what they'll get, which is really all we want for this email. In terms of subject line ideas, you can use these ones over here. And let's now move on to the next email, which is going to push your first-time buyers to make another purchase. This is the repeat purchase. So here's the harsh truth: more than 80% of customers don't return for a second purchase, and most drop off within 30 to 60 days after their first order. And once they fall out of the buying cycle, it becomes much harder to re-engage them. That's why the goal of this email is to turn first-time buyers into repeat customers before they churn. Also consider that converting a first-time buyer into a second-time buyer significantly increases the chances of a third, fourth, or even fifth purchase. And a time-sensitive offer with an incentive can help drive that crucial second order before it's too late. I know you might be hesitant to offer another discount, but considering the impact it can have on future purchases, it's well worth it. In terms of content, acknowledge their experience and excitement with the product, so we hope you're enjoying. Make them feel part of the community, like we value you big time. Introduce a limited time discount, example 10% off. And set urgency with a clear deadline, so for example valid for the next 48 hours, and future bestsellers or top categories to make it easy for them. Here's a good example from Trojan. The email offers a 10% discount with a 48-hour deadline, and it creates strong urgency to drive a second purchase. It starts by acknowledging the customer's recent order and making them feel valued as part of the community. The offer is clear, easy to claim, and framed as a thank you gift, so overall it's a pretty good example. Here are a couple of other subject line ideas you can use for this email, so feel free to check them out. Let's now move on to the last email, which is going to serve as a final reminder. The goal of this email is to provide a personal check-in from the founder to ensure the customer had a great experience with the order. It offers support if needed, while also serving as a final reminder that their limited time discount on a second order expires in 24 hours. In terms of content, we need a personal check-in from the founder, acknowledge their recent purchase, offer support if needed, a direct reminder that their discount is about to expire, and a CTA to use their code and take advantage of the offer before it's gone. Okay, here's a good example. This email comes as a personal check-in from the founder, making it feel warm and authentic. It acknowledges the customer's recent purchase and reinforces the benefits they should be starting to see. Support is offered if they have questions or need help, which builds trust. And most importantly, it includes a clear time-sensitive reminder that their 15% discount is expiring in 24 hours, which is also paired with a CTA to explore more products. So it's perfectly combining value and urgency. In terms of subject line ideas that you can use these ones from here. And now we can move on to the next step. So that's the full 7 email flow, but it doesn't end there. Now let's talk about how to optimize your post-purchase flow. So the initial setup I shared is just a starting point. Every brand is different, and what works for one might not work as well for another. That's why ongoing testing and optimization is crucial. If you want to drive more repeat purchases, A/B testing isn't optional, it's essential. Below are just a few examples of smart tests you can run to take your flow from good to great. So important A/B tests to run. We need time delays between messages, product recommendations, your offers, example $10 off versus 10% off, text-based emails versus graphic-based emails, and make sure that you do long-form content versus short-form content. And if you want more help, if you're an e-commerce brand and need help building a high converting post-purchase flow, my team and I can set it up for you so you can maximize retention and get the most out of every customer. You'll find the link to book a call in the description. And if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I'm always happy to help. You can also follow me on socials for more tips, insights, and practical guides. I have put the links to my socials in the document down below. So feel free to check them out. Thank you for watching and all the best.